Okay. Got me feeling okay. Oh, Lord Jibby. Not the
Okay, there goes your notification.
channels. Got two people
Lord,
watching.
Jibby.
Hey, Shannon. Yeah, me and Shannon.
Oh, you and Shanta? Are y'all posting it that we live or?
Not yet. I was just trying to make sure we there. Hold on. I can.
I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm hot today.
Mucho caliente way.
See, Mr. Brando.
What?
Coming and do my dance. Hey, baby.
You gonna do the slide on them?
I can't.
You can't do the
I
slide?
look like all them big girls trying to do it like an earthquake about to happen.
You could do
Give them a run for their money. They be like, look at April Beebe. What is she doing? Baby.
it.
Baby.
Uh-huh.
You got 16 people. Go ahead and hit that like button or we get it together.
Y'all better hit that like button now. Now!
You already know he gonna ask for his likes,
I
y'all.
want my likes, man.
You don't have to pay him. Just pay him in likes.
Oh, you gotta pay.
In likes.
In likes.
Is that pushed all the way in?
Can people hear you?
I'm just trying to make sure. And I think I gotta wiggle my chair.
Can y'all give me a thumbs up if y'all hear me? Can y'all give me a thumbs up? Let me know. Let me know.
Oh, Daisy.
What up, gang? What up, Shanta? What up? What up?
Here go all the people that's in the chat. Oh, you can see.
Oh, I can see him. Jamal, yo, what's up? Okay, let's get with our thing. First off,
First things first.
first things first. I'm Papa.
Oh, Lord. Jesus, help us.
You already know. Big Papa, baby.
Take the wheel.
We got the splitter working. We got two mics. Can you hear me on two mics, y'all? Can you hear me on two mics? Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. 3 likes. 36 people watching. It's not agreeable. Let's get to it now. Come on now.
No, it's 8 likes.
8 likes. 34 people. That's it. What was it? Hold on. 32 likes. 34 people. That's what I'm talking about. Get it to me, baby. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. I'm getting myself pumped up. Okay, I didn't listen to my music. Shanta, what's up? Jamal Hudson, yo, Shanta, gang, it's all day. Ramil, gang. April Beebe, there she go, gang. Jose Botello, gang. God bless you too. Shanta, gang. Wanda, gang. Frederick, gang. Detra Massey, gang. Pretty name, Detra. That's a neat name, Detra. It's almost like Greek.
Detra?
Yeah, like almost like
What
Tetris.
remind me of?
What, Tetris? It's a beautiful name.
Your best friend.
Ooh, my best friend. You playing on
Okay,
air.
wait. So say it. Detra?
Detra.
Detra.
Oh, you're talking about Destry.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it does. My boy. Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Destry. Yeah, my boy Dice. Long live Dice, man, for real. Denise, Malcolm, Neil. Woo! Terry. Happy Friday, man.
Thank you, Margarita.
Alden Wright, good to see you. AJ Jordan, shout out to Twitter. Man, I'm trying to get my Twitter followers up, man. If you ain't following Mr. Brando YouTube on Twitter, man, get with it.
Let me see if I can post it in the chat. Give me a second.
If you got Twitter, you won't follow me on Twitter, man, follow me, man.
That's all you got to say.
I be tweeting.
You be tweeting.
I be tweeting stuff, for real. I be tweeting important stuff.
Tweety bird.
Hold on, this dude the other day, I post, because I post a lot of food pictures, because my whole thing is food. So people were like, look like you're packing in the pounds. I'm like, now? 3 years later, that's your final answer? Dude, I was late. I'm in a 2X. When I started, I was in a 3X. You know what I'm saying? Y'all starving me. I need to get my likes. Oh.
Okay, so I posted your Twitter link.
Join my Twitter if you're on Twitter. Join my Twitter. Join me on Instagram if you just want some fun, cool. Follow me on Yelp. Hey, Shout, yeah, man. You can follow me anywhere, man. If you want the best in culinary foods, man. What to eat, where to eat at, baby. You know what I do. Come on now.
Oh.
Fronting on me, son. Where you been? You been there? Done
Hey,
that?
Derek.
Derek, my boy Derek. Hey, what up, D? What up, D? Hey, D, tell them how we be doing, man. We be eating it up, man. We like playing, man. Tell D, Derek, I got my Elite 21 status, baby.
Nobody know what that means, okay?
Oh, Yelp. I'm the Yelpest of the Yelps.
That means he just telling everywhere he go.
No, I don't. I don't tell nobody nowhere I go. That's you.
No,
Twitter figure.
that's not true.
I'll be like,
You couldn't get an elite unless you tell them where you're at, you post your pictures, and you rate the place. Yeah. So you do that.
I'm a blogger. I blog.
That's not blogging.
Blogging is life.
You're rating like you're
An aficionado.
no, what's that chef that died? You like
Anthony Bourdain?
Yeah, like you Anthony.
Because I'm, man, don't play with Anthony's name.
I didn't. I compared you to him because you like him, right? Okay.
Love that dude.
Let's carry on.
Mike, what up? Brother Jamal, Shanta, Ramil, Denise, AJ Jordan, shout out to Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Heavy Metal Chef, one of the top 2 chefs in the world, I can already admit to right now. I'm excluded from the present company. Heavy Metal Chef, one of the best chefs. Follow Heavy Metal Chef's YouTube. Got a few more shout out. Follow Chef Gwendolyn on YouTube. Follow. Who else we want to follow? San Lock and Key. Shout out Noble Institution. Hey, listen, all my Noble people, if you ain't logged into the website to see the improvements about the blocks, about all the stuff we've upgraded, how you can see everything, you need to log on. Shout out Noble Institution also for being the hosting site for Mr. Brando's YouTube.
Sanford said, what's the best place in Houston that you go to? Best restaurant experience. What's that?
It's tough. Man, I'll tell you, one of the best dining experiences I've had in Houston in a long time, there's 2 of them. Mm-hmm. One would be Vic and Anthony's. Mm-hmm. Epic. That dinner was epic. I mean, you can't even play on that. That was epic. We did it big. Crab legs. My other place that I really like, I'm gonna say this. It's a quaint little. I like Uptown Joey's. You know.
Okay.
I like Uptown Joey's like that. Like that's a neat little place. I like Bayou City Seafood. I like. That's one of the places I go. Like if you want me to eat and you're gonna be here in Houston, you're like, AB, let's go grab a bite. Place I'm definitely gonna suggest. Lulig's for barbecue. It's a lot of good. My house, if you just want to kick back and chill. Y'all just want to meet up, chill. We all just chill, have a beverage that's of an adult nature, and just really relax.
I'm so basic.
What's your favorite place?
Fish. I've been going to Fish
Oh,
before I moved
man.
here.
Fish is a good place.
And
Yeah, you introduced me to Fish.
I like a certain Papados because I like to kick it at the bar.
Yeah.
And take in the people and eat good Cajun food. That's it for me.
You ain't going to put on Grace's?
Oh, yeah, Grace's. I love
Your place Grace's?
And Grace's like old school mafia with their bar area. So it's like very private.
Man, our date nights are epic. We have fun on date night. We still date. We've been together for a long time, but you know, married shorter, but together, friendships, long time.
Half of the time that we've been together is marriage. So 2014.
Yeah, 2014. I thought it was 2011.
Married 2018. No, I wasn't in Texas yet.
Oh, 2018. Okay, so 4 years later we got married.
Uh-huh.
And we've been married 4 years.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
And I ain't let you go since. I'm like,
I loved you. I loved you.
He didn't have dreads then, so I couldn't pull him by the hair and say, come here.
My hair long. Want my money long. But, Eduardo Martinez Santana. Saludo. Hey, saludo, Mr. Brando. Puerto Rico in the house. Hola, Puerto Rico. Love Puerto Rico. AJ Jordan, hello, everybody. Ernest Jones, good evening. Detra, I love that name, Detra. That's a pretty name,
Yeah,
man.
it sounds similar to your
If
friend.
my boy, if my homeboy Destry was still, kicking it
Yeah.
with me, he'd be like, oh yeah, that's my name. We called him
It's like
Dice.
a female version of his
Yeah,
name.
he was a grimy dude. Margarita
Don't
Lane,
say that.
my homie though. Paul,
Oh, it needs to be moved higher. Okay, my bad.
the
The
thing.
mic, yeah.
Okay, they can't hear you again.
Kip said it needs to be moved higher.
Shout out to Paul.
I just,
Shout out
I have to
all
watch
my
it.
boys in Ukraine kicking ass and taking names. My boy was hit, so I'm gonna give him a moment.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was hit, so I'm gonna give my boy
I saw
Paul a
that.
hot minute. Let's give him 30 seconds, starting right now.
5 minutes. You mean 5 seconds? What's up, Sammy? I've been busy. Your girl started a new job. So, yeah.
So goes Ukraine. So goes democracy, y'all. Real talk. Okay, my boy got shot. He's in Ukraine. I'm gonna hold it down for him. I promised him a show. We're gonna do a show. David Fasani? Finally on time. David, good to have you. Detra, good to see you. Denise, what up? Out and right. Detra, we said her name about 50 times. Grant, what's going on? Grant McDizzle, what's the dizzle? My nizzle for shizzle. Detra, she said Detra. Detra. Okay, not Destre. Look out, Derek. What you doing, baby? Adam Atkin, let's go. What up, y'all? Oh, man, Adam. Big shout out, Adam. Yeah, time for brand, not brandy, Brando. Brandy is something I sip. Brando is a business. Gang, gang, Anthony Kip. What's up, baby? Grant, AJ Jordan. Shout out
Should I go
Twitter.
get my questions? Because they're not in here.
Yeah, go get your questions, babe.
Okay.
Get your questions. April has some questions for me about, and I actually had a few questions to her about, today's talk is going to be very simplified. I think today needs to be a moment of some questions answered about some things. I'm going to answer them. I'm going to let Miss BB get her questions.
Carry on with the
Shout
show.
out the Noble Institution. The website works much better. Thank you. Yeah. Man, I'm going to tell y'all this. In owning your own business, if you've never owned a website, if you've never worked in these things, trying to make improvements, trying to make things better for people, it really does make your experience a greater thing. Sanford, what up, baby? Jeffrey, gang, all day. AJ Jordan, April, Kip. Man, I'm getting deep in the game now. Paul, always. You know that. Tony, you know what I do, man. You know what we stand for. Sammy D, congratulations. Me too. Kill, what up? All right. Sam, low, LO, fat fingered it. I sip brandy too, dog. Ha ha. You know I sip. You know I sip. Okay. I want to go over the aspect. Okay. I want to go over in its totality an article. It's going to take up the whole show. But in the article, when people tell me stuff like kicking the can, they're not doing right, I start to think when a child fumbles something, they don't get it right, they don't do right by it. I start to think, do they know how to do they know how to perform the task? Do they know how to execute the task? You could pull that more that way and point it towards you if you want. If you're hot.
Okay.
There's fans in the studio. Yeah, there you go. All the way. There you go. Yeah, because I'm cold.
You want me to rotate it? Or
No, that's fine. Just
no? Okay.
turn up high. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go over this article. We're going to talk. We're going to go through Miss BB's questions, and we're going to have a good time. I have a question for her, too. Everybody wants to know her questions about XRP and her questions about some other stuff. I'm going to ask her that in just a couple months. But let's go over the article. The Iraqi political scene witnessed a sudden development represented by Mustafa al-Sadr with the head of the State of Law Coalition, Nur al-Maliki, on March 10th. That's just what, about 8 days ago, followed by a meeting between al-Sadr and some leaders of the coordination framework on March 12th. And these two developments opened the door for the possibility of al-Sadr heading to form a consensus government. And the chances of forming such a government quickly declined after Sadr published, after his meeting with the coordination on the 12th, a picture bearing his signature on which he wrote, "Neither Eastern nor Western, a national majority government," in reference to Iran and the United States of America. Meaning that he says the government should not be subordinate to two states or be formed by the will of either of them. By neither the West nor the East, he's talking about the West being the United States, the East talking about Iran. Our government should not be formulated by either one of them. Okay? Number one, Sadr called with Maliki on March 10th. They announced that the leader of the Sadr movement had made phone calls to Barzani, Parliament Speaker Mohad al-Abusi, the head of State of Law Coalition, Nur al-Maliki, and the head of the Sovereign Alliance, Kamimi Salkinjar, with the aim of discussing the current Iraqi political situation. Sadr's contact with Maliki represented a remarkable development as it came with a rupture that extended over 10 years. So now you have a little bit of insight into how Sadr's felt about Maliki. He's not like this man or had feelings against this man for over 10 years. Okay? So his call to him must have felt like him eating the biggest piece of crow pie that he's ever eaten himself. Okay? The meeting of the coordinating framework in Najif, government witnessed the meeting between the leaders of the coordinating framework, Amiri, Fayyad, Asadi, Halabusi, the leader of the Sovereignty Coalition, Kunjar, and the Sadr movement on May 12th. It should be noted that the meeting was held by al-Sadr in the presence of Sunni allies. So remember, al-Sadr has allies within the Sunnis and the Shiite house. That's what gives him the popularity and the stronghold that he has now. It's that he's branched out. He's diversified himself. So you don't want to really go with one person over another. Or because I have Jewish friends don't mean I can't fool with my Christian friends. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say we get quick with this God talk about on here. I know people get mad at me about this, but I think that the Jewish God is no greater than Allah, and Allah is no greater than the Christian God. All these gods can coexist because there's many different civilizations, many different cultures. I just think it very vain of me to say that my God can beat up your God. What are they going to do to me at the God parking lot at Lowe's and 59 South and duke it out? You know, Christian God and Allah? Come on, man. Get with it. I think people really have to have the understanding that there's acceptance around the world about different things. And this is just one of those things that I don't want to put anything in it. You see what I'm saying? The meeting in Najif between some of the leaders coordinating framework, we listed all of them. It was an indication that Sadr would not back down from his tripartite alliance with the Sunnis and the Kurds. I won't rat out my game, basically, is what he's saying, in favor of establishing a purely Shiite alliance with the coordinating framework. He didn't want to do that, as later desired. The meeting came with the aim of getting out of political deadlock and constitutional obstruction in Iraq and discussing the mechanism for forming a government and electing the president of the republic. It didn't happen. A new candidate for prime minister was put forward by Sadr a couple days later, and it was his. They listed on the writings as his cousin, but he's really his brother-in-law. Okay, so it's his brother-in-law, not his cousin. That's what it says on here. I think that's a translation error, but it's his brother. It's his brother-in-law to promote Jafar al-Sadr. We talked about him last week. He's the ambassador to Britain. He has all these different attributes and good things about him as the candidate for the position of prime minister, which means al-Sadr abandoned al-Kazemi's nomination for a new term, which represented a response of the coordination demands. So now you got tea. Y'all want to talk about something juicy? Now you got some tea. You say your homeboy, hey, Miss April, I'm going to make you PM. But then I got my homegirl Daisy over here. Miss Daisy, I'm going to make you PM. I don't tell you, but I tell you, I'm gonna make you PM. It looks like there's a division within the House of this tripartite alliance. It doesn't. Listen, a lot of this is American sensationalism, not sensationalism, media sensationalism. A lot of this has to do with, I'll give y'all this. I'll give y'all this. If you expect every child to do exactly what you say, a child. So I'm not saying, I consider children much younger than me. You see what I'm saying? So when I say younger, I'm 48 years old. To me, not a child is 30, but I'm saying someone younger is like in that 30 below. I'm damn near 18 years older than you. Does that make sense?
So his reasoning for telling both people that they were going to make him them, what is it? Was it, what did you say?
PM.
PM.
Uh-huh.
Was obviously to get to do what?
Well, one was to support his friend who's done a good job and take it home. One was his brother-in-law, who's the reformist candidate that's done nothing but run on reforms, helped revolutionize Iran, done a lot of writings that have gone to aid in revolutionary type activities inside of the Middle East as far as the governance of the people, not being under Sharia law, doing all these things, just in favor of a better society, not based on a theological aspect, but based upon a human aspect. You know what I'm saying? So I really do like Jafar as a candidate. I like Kazemi as a candidate. Between myself and the wall, if no one was in here listening, I could go with either one. I think it's really, really interesting, though, that he backdoored Kazemi because he's done it a few times. He's backdoored Saleh a few times. I'm going to get to that. But let's keep reading. Let's keep going.
Okay.
The difficulty of having two-thirds majority, some analysts have suggested that one of the reasons Saudi's temporary openness to coordinating federal court decision, which must take place by two-thirds majority in the presence of two-thirds of the Iraqi parliament representatives, meaning that the number required to attend the president's session is 220 deputies. To be elected by a two-thirds majority of the attendees, which would be 148 seats. So now listen. To elect a president in Iraq, because of how the supermajority works in this instance, you have to have a minimum out of the 329, 220 of them show up. Out of that 220, 148 of them, which would represent two-thirds of majorities, elect this person to be the next president. Okay, prime minister works a little differently. While the tripartite alliance, the movement between Sadr, Barzani, Khamis Kanjar, and Halabusi collects a number of seats ranging from 170 to 200 seats. This means they do not alone have the necessary quorum to meet the session. So when you guys tell me, oh, they're kicking the can, no, this is political chess playing. If I don't got the numbers, I have to sit back. I got to try to go out there and get me some independence, somebody else to support what I'm doing because I don't hold enough to hold quorum. So I get what they're saying. Oh, they're kicking the can. No, they're not. They're playing a game that we don't play here. We don't have parliaments. We have Congress. We have the Senate. We vote. We don't vote. We vote for a president. President's not voted upon us by a jury of its peers. You see what I'm saying? So when people tell me they're doing this, dude, these people just start practicing democracy for 30 years. We ain't got democracy right here in America over 200 years. 400 years. So please, before you tell me that these people don't know how to act as a government, allow them to be one as long as we are. It's kind of like the God thing. Gets under my skin. I'm sorry. Because you got to look at it pragmatically. Can't look at it from everything's my way. Oh, it's not going my way. It hadn't happened in 30 years. I'm pissed off. Well, guess what? This ain't going to happen on your time. It's going to happen in the time frame in which it's supposed to happen. If you can understand that, stay with me. If you can't, check out now. I ain't for you. Because I'm not about to sit up here every week and be like, the redemption centers and the rates are coming out in 3 days. I'm not about to sit up here and lie to people for no reason. The truth's the best lie you could ever tell anybody. Those who choose to accept the truth choose to accept benevolence. Those that choose not to choose the path of the devil. And that's just the way that works. You feel me? You find me, Crip Mac fans? Y'all don't know who Crip Mac is.
This audience don't.
Okay, well, I'm being real. Okay, now, But on the other hand, given the coordinating framework's 83 deputies, does not have a blocking third. You hear me? The coordinating, that's a, man, if y'all don't give me my love, dude, this is why I keep trying to tell y'all. You could do this. That's huge. That's nuclear warfare. Yeah, six. Okay. Okay. Is this yours? This is
That's
really
mine, the black
getting on my
one.
nerves, really.
Oh
Because this thing is concave.
my! I
Oh
didn't
my
know
god.
about the share.
We're going to buy a new table tomorrow. This concave shit ain't working. Okay. Now, the coordinating framework only has 83 deputies at best. Even if it allied with the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, which is the PUK. Remember, the PUK and the PDK. The PDK is the people we like. The PUK is the ones holding up stuff. They're not kicking the can. It's like if we had two candidates, and I could go on here right now and make this really polarizing, and I think I will. It'd be like me sitting here right now and be like, how many of y'all support Donald Trump? Raise your hand. And you could have all these people raising their hand. Bombs, raising their hand. We love, I could tell everybody, name everybody in here that supports Obama. And they can raise their hand. I do, I do, I do. We all do. We love him. Well, here's the problem.
Who supports Daisy?
Yeah, and Daisy is your candidate. I support Daisy for president, honestly. But you got to realize, here's the point. They don't have enough people, a blocking third, to block them from going forward. And that's why Sadr is allowing the Kurds to fight it out in their own political realm. Remember we told you that story about Zabari? Everybody thought I was nuts. Oh, Zabari got set up. They set him up. They're going to let Zabari run. He's going to be president. No. Sadr said, no, let him run. Let him do it. Let him do it. He knew because of his corruption, his background, he wasn't going to pass. It happens. Sadr has improved his image internally. During the last few days, the Sadr's movement affirmed its desire to resolve the issue of the government. It's reached out to Iran-backed politician, and he's tried to de-escalate a state of tension and popular anger against the Iraqi political system. The deterioration in the Iraqi economy and living conditions, witnessing that has increased in frequency in light of the repercussions of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, which may lead to popular protests once again in various Iraqi sites of government. On the other hand, the coordination practically means that the new Sadr government will not differ from previous governments. But of course, listen, if I'm corrupt and I don't want things to change, why wouldn't I want my team to win? If I was an Iranian politician, I'd be like, yo, I like this deal. I'm a politician. I share an immunity. I don't get in trouble for all the stealing I do. I can do whatever I want to do. And I really don't have to show up for work when I don't want to. It sounds like American politics to me. Support by corporate interest. Now, give me a bomb on that. Supported by corporate interest, not for the people. Don't vote with your constituents. Do what you want to do in the likes of interest of yourselves. Dude, you people and myself should be extremely comfortable talking about this because this is our political situation right here in America, whether you want to admit it or not. Pressure from the Kurds. Sadr limited openness to cooperation or coordination can be seen in an attempt to pressure the Kurdish Democratic Party, which is the KDP, and push it into the agreement with the KUP, which is the PUK, which is the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, on the President Republic, especially since al-Sadr tried in the beginning to push the two Kurdistan parties to agree on a position. Imagine two fat kids arguing over cake. Everybody wants cake. We can't let the fat kids fight because they're just gonna sit on the cake. So he's like trying to be diplomatic and be like, yo, we gotta really choose and get this right. They're not trying to do that. The coordinating framework is toughened. The stubborn position of the coordination may be the reason for Allah's retreat from the alliance with them. Coordinator stipulated that the Sadr is moving from a purely Shiite alliance that includes al-Sadr. and the coordinator, which means that a former will abandon the Sunnis and the Kurds. So get this. The person that feels like the coordinator that stipulated the Sadr's movement from a purely Shiite, Shiite, Shiite alliance that includes al-Sadr and the coordinator, which means that the former will abandon the Sunnis and the Kurds. The very people that got Sadr to the party already. Sadr's new candidate and then became Jafar from 4 candidates, namely Abadi, Ajari, Talfiq, Abadi, Abatan, which practically means confiscating al-Sadar's right to choose the new prime minister, which is difficult for al-Sadr to accept since he owns the majority of the government and has that enables him to pick the new prime minister. Rather, there is no indication that his opponent from the coordinating framework owns the blocking third. Listen to me. They don't own a blocking third to stop anything. Sometimes you got to sit back and reassess what's going on so you know how to attack the chessboard.
Be strategic.
Correct. Be intentional in your movements. The president of Iraqi state is in a way that contributes to strengthening al-Sadar's ability to form the government with a comfortable majority, and in a way that makes the coordination either acceptable by Sadar's conditions or remain alone by his opposition. Sadr is trying to complete the perfect 3. The best president, the best PM, the best Speaker of the House. He has the best Speaker of the House. Now he's trying to control how the presidency goes based upon a criteria that he wants as a majority government. Let the man lead. Now, in judicial today, they said, hey, look, if you guys don't pick a president within a certain amount of time, we're going to call for early elections. Yeah. There's no... Early elections means we scratch this and we start all over. Can any of you name a political bloc that can withstand, even Sadr, a re-election based upon the previous behaviors of everybody included? Nobody can, because that's not the way the world works. They can't withstand other political opposition because guess what? They're afraid they're all going to get voted out and they're going to start over without the same political sense that they had today. There's a lot of good stuff about the Buna Fund out there. We can go on and on and on, but that was the main point that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So I think April had a few questions that she wanted to ask me.
And it some of them tied to Iraq, some of them don't.
Okay, well, let's do it.
All right. So one of my questions is, how does what's going on in Ukraine with Russia affect America?
Well, it screwed up supply chains.
Mm-hmm.
It screwed up the distribution of how oil and gas and liquid gas and stuff like that goes. It's also divided nations. It's kind of like choosing, like we're going with this person, we're going with that person. It's affected our political scene because it's really made us jagged in our view about another country, even though we're not. I'll give you an example. They're not involved with NATO, but yet we're treating them like a NATO country. We're giving them arms. We're giving them assistance. A lot of things that a lot of people disagree with because they're not a NATO country or they're not an American friendly, if that makes sense. So there's a lot that's going on with Ukraine affects everything. And I will say this, and people could disagree, but so grows Ukraine, so grows democracy. Because what happens next is Poland, and then what happens while Poland's being invaded is watch China attack Taiwan.
Poland's being invaded?
They will be right after Ukraine. Watch.
Why does Putin feel the need to invade Ukraine? Help me understand that.
Because there's this unrealistic viewpoint that Putin is trying to recreate the USSR the way it was before. Whether he's mad, whether he's obsessed, whether he's a lot of things doesn't matter. He has a real populist nature towards the USSR the way it was before. With Uzbekistan and all these different countries and Warsaw, communist Poland, and he wants it to be 1975. Mm-hmm. It ain't never going to be 1975 again. It's just like him in a speech the other day blaming transgender and gay people for the situation going on in Ukraine. I mean, come on, man.
So how does NATO affect the invasion of Ukraine?
Well, because it's not a NATO country, it doesn't. If you're a NATO country, it's like you're saying, hey, look, I stand with a gang. It's like if someone invaded my country, my gang.
So because they're not NATO, they can be invaded.
Not that they can be invaded, that NATO can't step in and protect them. See, the problem with Ukraine is a little while ago, they were 50-50 on should we join NATO? Should we join the WTO? Should we do these things? Should we not do these things? And they were all the way sold either way. It wasn't until the threats escalated with Russia that they decided that, you know what, hey, I think we need a little bit more protection than what we have. Maybe we should join NATO. Maybe we should join the Western Union, all that stuff. So I think now, hindsight being 2020, I think that they would have probably made a decision much prior to this, whether it be join NATO, WTO, or whatever. Just join a national organization like that, especially NATO, because then they wouldn't have been invaded. And that's what Poland's screaming for right now. We need to join NATO because they don't want to be occupied by Russia. Crimea is the perfect example. Under the whatever that happened 8 years ago, 7 years ago, Crimea getting invaded and nothing happening during whatever administration. It could have been Obama, I don't care. But when nothing happened because of that, it kind of like was, well, let's just see how this goes on. Well, nothing happened for 8 or 9 years. It enabled you to go forward. I mean that if I beat up your little brother, I can beat up your middle brother next. No one's going to say anything.
So let me ask you this. What relationships are America building? Are they building one with Iran? Are they building one with Iraq?
They built one with Iraq. They're trying to build one with Iran. There's an ongoing thing with Saudi Arabia. And listen, to all people out there that are saying, well, Saudi Arabia is trying to get paid in yen. Okay, if you're getting something that's worth $1, and this is your largest trade partner in the world, why would you ever substitute with something that was worth 3/10 of a dollar? And it's not your largest trade partner, and you don't really like, and you don't really like doing business with. Saudi Arabia is not going to start taking money in yen because they do everything in dollars. All their defense spending comes in dollars. Why would you all of a sudden upend that for a possibility of that equipment working from Russia? Because now Russia's army and its equipment are truly in question. And if they're in question, because China kind of operates the same way, kind of got to think, I wonder how effective the Chinese army is. The Russian military is shit. Their troops got on the ground, God bless them kids, crap. They're getting their ass handed to them guerrilla warfare. I always said that you can't win a fight in somebody else's house. You just can't.
So I mean, so with Iran and us trying to build a relationship, how can that even be when not but last year we killed
Their general, their top
yeah,
person,
yeah.
that was ill-advised, and it's even been documented that they said don't do it, but they did it anyway. So, I mean, you kill Soleimani, you kill a terrorist, nobody really cares. If someone was to assassinate Putin, there would be care.
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's coming next.
I think it's less likely that Putin takes over, or that Putin gets killed, that Northern Africa replaces all the oil in Russia going to Europe.
I feel like it's going to be at the hands of his own.
Be unique. It's never really happened.
Don't you think?
Hold on. There's a question. Is there a possibility they're going to back their money with gold? No.
Who?
There's no. Listen, the yen is not backed in gold. There's too much yen out there. There's too much ruble out there to be backed in gold. Just like there's trillions in USD. Backed in gold is a fantasy. It can't happen. It won't happen. You know why? Because if someone in Africa has way more gold than Russia does, what is Russia going to do when this person steps up that's a warlord coming out of the Congo? Oh, well, now you got all the gold. You can have nuclear powers? It doesn't work that way. Do you think the Russian war will slow down anything? Yes, it'll slow down everything. It'll promote higher gas prices. It's going to cause inflation. It's going to cause people to suffer, not just in those areas of conflict, but outside of it economically, because none of your pays have increased, but your standard of livings are increasing, and there's nothing you can do about it. So yes, it's going to affect everything. You're either in it for the long haul or you're not. But you're either in. I'll put it like this: Russia wins this fight, there's a different democracy everywhere. Ukraine wins this fight, there's a different democracy everywhere. If you think it's slow now, wait till the Chinese invade Taiwan. And you can't get your semiconductors for your iPhone 14, your Android 37, your fancy iPads. Just wait. I know a lot of you out there love authoritarian governments, but guess what? I don't. I don't like people telling me what to do, what I can watch, what I can see, I like the option of seeing everything and then going from there. Okay?
Okay. And this is my last question, but
Okay.
and I'm gonna start with a quote. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. How
Nietzsche. Wasn't that Nietzsche?
I'm not sure. How does that apply to China and Russia? Is their relationship strengthening?
Russia and China find themselves strange bedfellows because the only thing that can save Russia from truly losing face is China arming them. If China arms Russia, things will escalate. It will escalate. It'll be war. First of all, China's odd man out because nobody really likes China. Honestly. I mean, being real. People like Russia less.
Well, and I think they have an enemy in common,
which is the United States.
Right. So that's why I referenced that quote.
If China arms Russia, things will escalate. Mm-hmm. What does real-time escalation mean in today's terminology? We will see. Kiss my Nikes goodbye. I'm not wearing my big slippers today. NATO just met with Iraq last week. There was a meeting. Everything seems to be progressing quite nicely. No, Iraq doesn't hold enough natural gas and oils to supply all of Russia. They can do about 5 to 7%. Yeah, if you want to live under a dictatorship, you need to move somewhere away from me because I'm not for autocrats. I don't like autocrats. And that's why I didn't like Trump. No offense. He's an autocrat. This is proven. I mean, I don't care for that type of thing. It's not for me. I like free media. I like knowing that there's a free choice in my governance. I can worship whatever God I want. If you're a homosexual, you can sleep with whoever you want. I don't like somebody telling me what to do. I don't play well with others. Yeah, Sammy D, great point. March 26th, the vote for the president. So, it's 8 days away, which brings us to next week. But they have to do this vote because if they don't, the Supreme Judicial Council's come out and said, if you don't do this, guess what? You're going to vote again. None of them can take that. I have a question for you, though. And, hey, I'll sit on here and tell you right now, XRP, I was wrong. I was wrong about XRP and its lawsuit. I can sit here and tell you that right now. I was wrong. All y'all want to bash me, whatever.
Why were you wrong?
Because I said I wouldn't buy XRP because it's under this lawsuit. But it looks like they're going to come out on the favorite side of this lawsuit. Uh-huh. So I have a question for you, Ms. Beebe, and a lot of people have asked this question. Uh-huh. How do you feel about XRP being on the winning side of a lawsuit with the SEC?
I definitely think that will change things. I sold over $1, like $1 and some change. So once I heard that there was a lawsuit coming down the pipelines, it made sense to dump it. Do I believe in the technology and everything? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Would I get back in when the timing is right? I would. And right now, I mean, there's a bunch of scuttlebutt, and I posted an article in the chat, but I can wait.
I have another question, too.
Okay.
Since XRP and Stellar are kind of like the same type of platform, why hasn't Stellar fared better in the crypto space than it has?
It started off as only international, meaning, actually, no, I take that back. Mm-hmm. One was centralized. XRP is centralized, right?
Okay. So does that mean the government can watch everything?
Of course, it's a banker's coin.
Okay. A stable coin or a banker's coin?
A banker's coin. It was meant for the establishment. the banking establishment.
Mm-hmm.
XLM was what cryptocurrency was really based on, which is being decentralized. It people wanted to be anonymous. With XLM, it would allow you that. Now, with regulations going down the pipeline for cryptocurrency, it's going to be very hard to kind of be decentralized. And
Will any cryptocurrency you think be decentralized coming with regulations?
what they're going to do is wipe out the ones that are decentralized,
Mm-hmm.
probably making them harder to trade. I mean, even looking at XRP,
Mm-hmm.
it has been moved off of about 75 to about 85% of the exchanges. It's very hard to purchase XRP right now.
And even with that, the current value of it, is it kind of like the people saying that we believe in this and we're holding on and blah blah? Or
You might have people saying that they're holding on. It still never reached their all-time high, even in the height of before this lawsuit.
mm-hmm.
The high was back in the beginning of 2018, and it was like $3. We haven't seen that since.
But because of suppression from the SEC lawsuit.
No, not even that.
Well, if it's been delisted from about 75
That hurts
exchanges.
it, but we don't know what it would perform at because before it started getting yanked, it was at like $1.25. It never returned back to its all-time high.
Oh, so even, okay, I'm just throwing this out there. Even if it's dropped from its SEC lawsuit and everything goes perfectly, there's no guarantee it will go back over $3.
No, and we're in a kind of in a bear market now.
Yeah.
So
You gotta look at their all-time lows as being the
let
number.
me say this: if Bitcoin moves the needle and goes back to its all-time high, it is possible. But Bitcoin has not resurfaced to the 60s.
So are you bullish or bearish on XRP? I see a lot of people in the comments, XRP is gold.
I'm in the middle of the road because
I want some. I'm just being real. I guess I'm a sucker. I want some.
yeah, I'm in the middle of the road with that. I want to see how this plays out and then when I hear that it's favorable for XRP, but there's no guarantees.
And a shout out to Exodus for selling XRP. Shout out to anybody against the establishment. You know what this is. It's Rebel Radio right now. I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the Mr. Brando NFT you saw the other day?
You haven't showed it to me yet.
I did show it to you. I showed you a picture.
Where? Let me see it. I didn't see it.
Oh my God. You have seen.
I'm not.
Oh my God. You are.
Oh, the reggae.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You're so
First person in our space to come out with NFTs. Final draft comes in a week. I'll be minting the next week. I'm trying to decide what should I stake my XRPs with. Should I do it in?
your XRP.
I mean, not my XRP, my NFTs. My NFTs. My NFTs. Should I do it in XRP and support the decentralized type of thing, the flow that we stand for and go with? Should I do it in Ethereum? Should I do it in Presearch? Should I do it in Bitcoin? I want to know.
Well, number one, you kind of have to look if they have the platform.
Oh, hold on. Ron West. I am right again. Ron West. Let's give Ron West a big shout out. Ron West. I am right again. Not happening by the end of the first quarter. March 31st proves me wrong. See everyone January 2023 at the end of the story. Ron West. Let's give him a shout out. Good job, Ron West. With no YouTube channel, with no analysis, with no reading, no nothing. You're right again. You sound like Jeff. You should start a Patreon. We'll follow you.
Well, back to the NFTs, it has to have a marketplace. RP has not established a marketplace yet.
Okay.
So, I asked you what marketplaces would you put it on because that's where you connect it to the coin. So, for the most part, Ethereum has a marketplace. Polygon has a marketplace. Solana,
I like Poly.
Solana has a marketplace. Cardano has a marketplace.
Hold on. Ron West, give him a shout out, y'all. He was right. Once again, he's right. Good job, Jeff. I mean, what's his name? Ron. Good job, Ron. You win a prize. We're going to give you an honorary hat that says you're right. Good job. Shit. Just like somebody named George Dinar. Like, come on, dude. Oh my God, these people. Um, I would say going forward, I was right because I said that they were absolutely exit chapter 7. I was right when I said oil will go to zero. I was right when I said oil will go above 130. I was right when I said they were going to do a bunch of things. So I should get a shout out too. Well, but I've documented mine and I've kept it on wax. And so that's how we know what I say actually comes true. And when people like this jump in the chat, we don't have any documentation of it because you don't have a YouTube channel. We can't follow what you're saying. Hold on. Did you know that XRP are not selling no more currency to the service anymore? Also, they are buying them back off the server. Did you know that?
I'm not checking for XRP.
Me
No
neither.
longer.
I'm not like really. I'm not a.
Like I said, until this lawsuit is over, things won't open up for XRP. I think you'll have to go on like KuCoins to buy it. You can no
Or
longer,
Exodus.
you can no longer buy it on Coinbase, which is one of the largest exchanges.
I think on the most gamified exchange. So if you were going to buy it, was the easiest to do from. So until it goes back to a major exchange like that and gets off these subculture exchanges that only like crypto folks use, where people that normally buy stuff can go back to, then you'll actually see a major change inside of the XRP placement. That's my own personal opinion. It's kind of like this. Bitcoin was great when it was on the dark web, but when Coinbase got it, it blew up. Oh, somebody said BitTrue. Oh, John says I have a kangaroo coin. I wear it around my neck every day. See? All right, y'all. That's the show. It's been an awesome day. I hope you guys had fun. I didn't really think this was going to be a very good time, but obviously it was a hell of a good time. Shout out to each and every one of you guys for showing up, showing out. Shout out Heavy Metal. Shout out San Lock and Key. Shout out Megan. Shout out Miss April. Shout out Daisy. Shout out my boy Bill, CZ. Shout out Financial Friday. Shout out Deb. Everybody out there, I'm shouting every single one of you out there holding it true. Staying with it, even in its darkest hour. Trust me, when they don't do nothing, they're doing something. And with that, we also know that when they do something, and look for me probably in the next day or so, I might do a little sub video. This went too long. I want to do a sub video about the exchange rate and why the Judicial Council said, and this is a spoiler alert because y'all hung on here so long. People are leaving, but I'm going to give them the spoiler right now. I want to do a slight video maybe Sunday or Saturday about what happens with the judicial system rejecting the 1190, going back to the exchange rate, why it doesn't work. Okay? Appreciate all y'all. Have a awesome weekend. Have date night with your spouse. Kick it like it's 1999. Oh, I myself am going to put my little fuzzy back on my microphone and say goodnight. Y'all have a pleasant evening. Thank you. See you later. Peace out.